Hey, trucked up guys and gals, you know, we all get to love the vehicles that we drive. We become kind of fanboys or fangirls, and then we say, well, I love my Toyota, or I love my Tacoma, or I love my Cybertruck, or I love my Model Y, or I love my Lightning, and we become a little biased. We're also hearing from truck channels and EV channels that go out and rate these things or drive these things or invited to junkets by a lot of these different manufacturers to go out and give their vehicles a drive and do an honest assessment. But what motivates those individuals to do it? Well, the channel. I mean, I've got a channel. I'm going to talk about EV trucks because that's what I do. However, what if we could get an unbiased opinion from somebody who's not only driving currently an EV truck, but he's not only had a Silverado EV, he's also had a Lightning, he's also had an Eco Diesel, he's also had a regular diesel, and he's also had a 3500 series Cummins. So he knows all of these different aspects of the trucks, and he's not doing it because he's an influencer, he's doing it because he's a truck guy, and he uses his truck for towing and hauling. So why don't you jump in the back seat if you're interested, and let's head over to see Andrew and get totally trucked up. You know how much I love the Silverado EV, especially you heard about the Trail Boss. I did a video on that, but I'm in one of the last of the best, man. First edition RST. You know that I went along and filmed here in Vancouver, Port Moody. My buddy Mike, I'm still so grateful. Thank you, Mike, for doing all you did, introducing me to that WT4 and getting me interested in the Silverado EV. But today is a big day because I'm hanging out with my buddy Andrew.
What's up, guys? How y'all doing here?
And he's been taking care of me the whole time I've been at the Everything Electric. He was also my film guy a little bit at Everything Electric, so that really helped out. And now we're sitting in his beast, and that is the Silverado EV RST. They're not making them anymore.
They ended on 2026 here.
And what's really cool about this truck is I can actually understand why GM may have pulled back on it, because this is the Corvette of the fleet. This is the vehicle that showcases everything. So I mean, anything that they could put in this thing, they put in this thing, like from top to bottom. I can't believe all the features. But the real big story here as well that I want to talk to you about, Andrew,
of course,
is the fact that you went from, you were a Lightning owner. You were a kind of an early adopter with EVs.
I've had everything. I've had absolutely everything. I started off with with me and my partner, we had a Jeep. We went from a Jeep into it was a Ram 1500 Eco Diesel. So I got my taste of torque, and it was pretty cool. But the Eco Diesel were having issues back then, and then we went from that into actually switching to more of an electric version. We added the Kona, and the Kona EV. We had that back in the day, and I got like all the deals, the scrap it, the rebates, all the cool things back then, and that was absolutely fantastic. Right there, I kind of fell in love with the electric thing, but I still understood that the right tool for the right application. So I had a Ram 3500 then, and after that we had a Ram 3500 that was a big Cummins diesel. So I had that big torque. I had all the things to tow my trailer, and from then I'm like, well, I really want to be able to tow my trailer with electric, because I already had that like first initial love for electric because of the Kona. So then from there I was like, well, what can I do? So then the Ford Lightning came out, and I was like, oh well, this looks pretty darn good. I got the Ford Lightning, and I had a really good deal. I went with a Platinum. Yeah, I know. Platinum.
No,
yeah,
sweet, man.
It was sweet. The interior was beautiful, but that was during the time when in the 2023 model that they were like basically skimping on certain of the chip shortage.
Supply chain chip shortages.
Exactly.
They pulled everything out of it.
So I didn't, right when I got the vehicle, I didn't have heated steering wheel and a Platinum. And I was like, no heating steering wheel and a Platinum, it makes no sense. So I went in, I got the chip installed. They installed the chip underneath the steering wheel, and then I had the heated steering wheel. But I was also missing some other key features like massage seats. I know, pampered. But regardless, I had all these features that were not really missing in the Platinum, but it was still a really nice experience. The Platinum seats were nice, the interior nice. I had Android Auto. I had a lot of other features that were really, really nice, and I had the ability to basically have the Bang & Olufsen sound system that also had the speakers in the headrest, which is something you don't actually have in your Flash.
You don't have it in the Flash, no.
But you do have the Bang & Olufsen sound system,
That's right,
correct?
yeah, and it's brilliant. Yeah.
Yes, it is really brilliant. So the sound quality in the Lightning was fantastic. So after the Lightning, I was like, well, the towing capacity was great. The payload in the Ford was great. All of these aspects were absolutely fantastic. The speed and the acceleration in the Ford Lightning was absolutely fantastic. But there were some things that were missing, range being one. So I would go out and I would tow with my Ford Lightning, and I would go out campgrounds, but I got about 250 kilometers with my 5,000-pound trailer. I had a 24-foot with a rear slide to 28 feet, and that just wasn't good enough to get basically where I wanted to go and what I wanted to do.
And then back again.
Exactly.
Because a lot of places that we're going here in BC, it's a to and from maybe without a charger.
But there are some pros to that. Like, for example, if I get to the campground with my Lightning, I can still leave my trailer there, go back in town if I'm there for longer than X amount of time, go get groceries, go get this, whatever I need to do. And while I'm there, I can charge up, then come back to the trailer. And when I'm at the trailer again, then the trailer, I'm still full charge. So the range anxiety still wasn't really there because I wasn't really going super far distance. I wasn't doing long distance travel, which I actually did in my Ram 3500. I actually drove across Canada and across the US. And still to this day, it's the right tool for the application. Right. So when I'm saying, would I have an issue with the Ford Lightning going across Canada, towing a trailer? 100%. I would have an issue. It would take me a lot longer. It's doable. Not that it's not doable. Exactly. It's 100% doable, but it would take me a lot longer because the infrastructure in the central provinces of Canada
is bad.
It's just not there yet.
Yeah.
If somehow I could teleport from BC right to Quebec, then I wouldn't actually own a truck in the first place. But then the Silverado EV RST came out, and the work truck and all the other ones. But I was like, I'm a guy that likes my creature comforts and my luxuries. And right when I saw Jerry Rig Everything, I saw his 400 and whatever 60 kilometer range test or whatever he did, 70 kilometer range test.
Beat the EPA.
Beat the EPA. Yeah. And I was like, wow, this thing is something.
Yeah, and it keeps doing that too. One of the things that we're seeing with almost every test of the Silverado and its sister, the sibling in the Sierra side of things, they're beating the EPA, and they're not just beating the EPA, from a standard use, but mixed use, highway use, everything in there. They're doing better than expected with the trucks.
They are.
It's phenomenal.
They really are.
You then made that switch over. You got into trailer, you're towing. And what did you find you could now do using the Silver? Like, was it
double the range? More like close to double the range.
So this is just clobbering.
It is. So with this vehicle, I honestly, city driving combined, if I get in the vehicle and it's 100%, it will read 798 kilometers, and that's actually accurate.
That's up there with a typical gas truck.
Oh, easy. Yeah. And honestly, like at my home, I got solar on my roof. So basically, the solar on my roof also I have the whole infrastructure of that. Basically, electrify everything. Yeah. And that is something that basically gives me even more confidence in the affordability and the aspect of the electrification future that I am so excited for and striving for. Yeah. And switching to the RST, I don't miss my Cummins, my 3500 Cummins. I can tow with this. No, I'm not doing any gooseneck trailers, which is something that if you have a gooseneck, you're not buying electric. You're not. You get a diesel. Get a diesel. And that's the thing. It's the right tool for the right application.
Absolutely.
And this tool here, around the city, towing my trailer, going out, taking my cargo trailer out to do certain things, my enclosed trailer, whatever it is, I get massive range. So with that same trailer that I had with the 5,000-pound trailer that I got 250 kilometers with the Ford Lightning, I now get 435 kilometers with that same trailer with this truck.
And here's the other thing. We always make it sound like it. It always sounds like this because there's parts of North America where the infrastructure is terrible. But overall, we talk with electric trucks as if there's not a single DC fast charger out in the ether. It's hard not to find them, and now we're starting to see BC Hydro, Tesla, ChargePoint, in the States, Iona. There's different ones now, Chempower is setting up with different systems where they're pulled through their, and in Quebec, Circuit Electrique, almost every place that you have a major place, there's going to be a pull through for a truck and a trailer. So we've reached that point where it's not a big deal, especially when you own a Silverado, for one reason. This thing charges like freaking mental
fast. I've seen speeds of like high, like 370 plus at like Electrify Canada. Being that this is the first edition, I have CCS on my vehicle, and I'm actually really happy that I have CCS. The NACS interface, yes, it's fantastic. It's really easy for my partner to basically plug it in. There are limitations that sometimes those big
you gotta be really good at doing bicep curls.
You gotta be strong. You gotta be strong. But I still find more DC fast chargers that are CCS than NACS. So the NACS on some systems are limited. Yes, you can find certain new generation 4 Tesla superchargers,
but they're very infrequent in Canada.
Yeah, they're very infrequent. And in Canada, when you want to get those huge 350 plus, they almost all have CCS.
Yeah, you're a true believer.
I'm a true believer, and I'm someone who switched from diesel to electric.
That's what I want to get to. You know, a lot of people say, oh, you're all fanboys, you're all this. You are not averse to diesel. You talked about the Ram Charger being a great idea for the right use case.
I think the Ram Charger is fantastic if they can actually implement it to be fantastic.
That's right.
I'm someone that wants every EV to succeed. I would honestly, even though I have some, reservations on the aspect of the moving triangle. I mean the Cybertruck. I want it to succeed.
I want it to succeed as well, because if it's really good and everyone loves it and we sell lots of them, we're moving the needle. One of the big reasons I wanted to sit down and chat with you is that you've got insight that others don't, and you've even thought maybe your wife drives an EV. And you and her have even thought, well, maybe we'll bring a Lightning back into the fold.
Yes.
So you're a person who's owned a Lightning, moved to a Silverado, and still love the Lightning. Like I'd like you to get into some of the pros and cons.
I'm not a big fan of the standard range. The reason why I'm not currently, and before I was, that was when the rebates happened in Canada, and you could use the rebates on the standard range, but you couldn't in the extended. But currently, the standard range doesn't give you enough to do a lot of truck things. Truck stuff. And when I say truck stuff, for me, truck stuff is towing.
Yeah, going to the lake.
And going to the lake. Sure, around town and low speed, the standard range has no issue as long as you have the tow package. Has no issue doing, like if you're a landscaper or you're an electrician or you have a small cargo trailer or whatever it is and you're towing with your standard range Lightning, there's no issue. Like you're going to be able to be fine. You're going to be able to do a whole day with your standard range going low speeds. But highway speeds, the enemy, as we know about EVs and towing, is wind resistance. It's not weight. It's not weight. Weight has really no aspect to the truck and what's going on with the truck.
There's been multiple tests now done loading up the bed and seeing almost zero effect on the range. So the weight's not impacting anywhere near the way the wind resistance is. When you look back at the Lightning in a longing way, what is it that makes you have that longing way? What is it that makes you go, I'd go back to a Lightning because of...
When I had the Lightning, I was looking at getting, for example, a bed canopy. That was something that I looked at the Lightning, and I wanted to get a canopy. Try to find a canopy for the Silverado. Lear makes one, but not for the RST, because it doesn't work with the midgate. It only works with the work truck. So, and Lear, so Lear makes one, and also, you can't even really buy it. It's super hard to find. It's super hard to get. I've seen maybe one online in pictures, but a canopy with the Ford Lightning, it's every single person makes one because the Ford Lightning is a universal truck. They basically just built the EV first to market by taking the traditional F-150 and modifying a few things, which in that aspect is fantastic. And they also were overly cautious with some things as well.
So they overbuilt it.
They overbuilt it, but they also were like, well, we want to really protect this battery, so let's put some huge armor.
I know all about that.
Some crumple zones in it. Let's put some things in. My current RST doesn't have armor underneath.
No.
It's not something that I even worry about. I still take it down dirt roads. I'm not going rock crawling with my RST. If I wanted to go do that, I'd probably buy the Trail Boss. But even the Trail Boss, it is a hybrid of a city truck with being also
with those other capabilities. So one thing that you mentioned to me with, we'll talk about some of the things that just absolutely rock with this. You love it so much. Yeah. So the lightning move away and why you're still thinking back about it. The big thing was the seats and the comfort.
Seats were really comfortable in the lightning.
And the
but that's also
inside.
that's also because I had the platinum.
Right.
Also you can get in the used market right now with Ford Lightnings. You can get them at a really good deal. I've actually had only success with trading in. Like when I traded in my Ford Lightning, I actually got more than what I got it for. Yeah. And that's also because my current market in this area, electric vehicles are really, really popular in Vancouver. And they are, it's not like if you go to, Prince George or somewhere in the interior, the excitement for basically electrification is not as high.
Your high resales in your urban centers.
Yeah, in your urban centers. And there's still a lot of, as we talk about, misinformation about electric vehicles and cold weather. And on this vehicle, I've been down to -25 last winter, and I had 13% range loss.
That's nuts. That's better than mine with a heat pump.
And that was almost unnoticeable, and I had no issue with the fear of range anxiety, being that it's cold, or will my truck not start. There's the thing is being someone who's come from diesel and I've come from gas, and I've seen the pros and cons of all of these. It's the fact that right now misinformation is our number one enemy. Number one enemy of your channel, number one enemy of anything, is that the fact that there are people out there that have had gas, had diesel, had electric, tried them all, and I am saying electric is the future.
If you were to list off what really, like, we already know about the range.
Yeah.
We already know that towing's a big deal for you. Tell me something that's just like, I freaking love the Silverado. I've driven the Lightning. I've driven diesel. I've driven all those things. But the Silverado RST, man, here's this, and this. What are those things outside of range and towing that make you go gaga about your truck?
Other than range and towing.
Yeah. What are the things that make you go gaga about
space? The truck, the rear seat is bigger than the Platinum. It's bigger than the Lightning. Right. The rear seat is absolutely ginormous. It has a folding midgate, which is an option in the modern LTs. Yep. It comes as also in the Trail Boss. And the folding midgate, similar to GMC's Denali and GMC's AT4, is a fantastic addition. I have child seats in the back, but I've set it up so that I can take the child seats out really quickly, fold down the seats, tuck the mirror away, and then I have basically 11-foot something bed in the back. It's crazy. You can load up lumber in the back of this thing. Yeah, lumber. You can load up just lots of tote, lots of space, lots of things. It's so versatile. Right. In the aspect, I love rear steer. I have a turning radius that is, I feel like
probably as good as your Kona.
Oh, I feel like a Honda Civic or something.
Yeah, man. It's crazy.
I love it, even though it's kind of a little like pony trick,
Yeah, like a little gimmick. It's a gimmick, but it's a cool gimmick.
It's a cool gimmick.
Yeah, and we took ourselves for a little drive doing your Sidewinder, and it was the freakiest thing to feel. Yeah. But you can't get it across in film. You have to be sitting in a vehicle and actually have it doing Sidewinder, and the feeling is just mental. It is. But let's go check this thing out.
Sure, sounds good.
Leaking, cash on fire, engines wheezing, a funeral choir. You call that power, you're just a liar, a fossil in the grave. Grease-stained hands clutching dreams of roaring pipes and gasoline streams. Your time is over, or so it seems. The future's what we crave. Electric stampede, charging the line. Silent thunder,
that was so cool. Sidewinder is number one. You let me drive it with Sidewinder. That is just freaky. It's mental.
It's like skating on ice or something.
It's like skating, but you actually have a lot of really cool control. Like you don't realize how much, once you get used to it, what you could actually do with it.
Yeah, I don't know.
Just blew my mind, but it looks cool.
Yeah, it does look cool.
So I just want to thank you so much. We've got some real problems with the audio today. I had to go exclusively off GoPro because I'm having all kinds of issues with my primary camera. We lost all the audio, all the video. So we managed to piecemeal it together anyway. Andrew, thank you so much for putting up with me and for doing this, and really getting into the two sides of the EV trucks from your own personal perspective.
Of course.
And it's nice to meet another incredibly excited guy about electrification of trucks, man.
It's the future, man. It's the future.
Yeah. And Andrew's right. EV trucks, in fact, all EVs are the future. Sales are going to go up, sales are going to go down. But what we're seeing, and he points this out, is that throughout the world, EV sales are just on their way up almost everywhere. We're seeing a holdback in the United States, but not so much in Canada. The only time there's a slowdown is when there's uncertainty. The moment that uncertainty is gone, whether it's with EV incentives coming in, going out, possibly being canceled, possibly being restarted, at the end of the day, people are buying more EVs in every part of the world. Technology is going to change, but what we're seeing already is not the end of EV trucks, but the beginning of EV trucks. So I think we can all feel as enthusiastic about the future as Andrew does. Hey, and if you like this content and you want me to do more one-on-one with people just like Andrew, let me know in the comments below. Or if there's something that you're wanting to see, please, I want to hear all about it. I also respond quicker with my Patreon and YouTube members. I also have all of these videos go out to those people first, and I also put out content once a month that is exclusive to my YouTube and Patreon members. So please consider becoming a member. As always, I just want to thank you so much for watching. Talk to you soon.